All right, welcome to Cafe Chronicles. Tonight
What's
we
up,
have
man?
C. Alexander.
What's up, man?
Welcome.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm pretty ecstatic right now, to be quite honest.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Glad to have you here.
It's like one of my first interviews. So
Really?
you are the first.
Ever? I don't believe that.
Personally, yeah.
Really?
As an artist, yes.
Huh. How long have you been an artist?
Ooh. How long have I been rocking? Let's say I came on the scene in about 2008.
Okay.
Doing open mics at the different bars around downtown.
Yeah. Just singing?
Just singing.
All right.
Just
do you,
singing.
Do you play as well or
I used to play the trumpet,
trumpet? All
and
right.
I put it down,
Yeah.
so I don't play it anymore. I know the keys on the piano.
Yeah. You know the keys?
Funny
Yeah.
story. I went to school for music education
Huh.
at Alcorn State, and in that, my teachers knew I had a fear of playing out loud. So as we have earphones on today, they would
Yeah.
let me play with my earphones on, and they would watch my keys. They'll watch
I
my
see.
fingering.
Yeah.
So I never actually picked up the, if you will, playing the piano like all other musicians.
Okay.
Just want to be behind the microphone.
Yeah. Huh.
So
Wow. But when you say you know the keys,
I know
Like-
all the keys. I can play the chords. I can.
yeah. But I mean, if you're singing something, do you ever like need to go to the piano and like figure anything out, or do you just no?
Nope. Nope.
No.
Not at all.
Okay.
There's not a piano in my house.
All right.
I can
Okay.
download it on my phone when I need it, right?
Yeah, that's true. You can download anything on your phone now, right?
Right.
Yeah. So 2008, you said
Since
you
about
hit the
2000,
scene.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think it's been about that long.
You were hitting open mics.
Doing open mics at Nicky's, at Lucky's, at wherever there was an open mic back in the
Yeah.
day. You're going to be interviewing a young lady a little later that found me at the open mic.
All right. When did you start performing like with other people? Like as a group?
As a collective,
Yeah.
around 2008, 2009-ish, probably, maybe, 2009-ish.
Okay.
I don't remember the times and the dates.
Do you know who it
anymore.
was? Who you were playing with?
Well, let me go back.
Yeah.
I actually recorded first when I was 17 in 97, when I was in high school with the artist Joseph Hurst, a gospel artist. So I actually been around for a while, if you will. And I
Yeah.
went to college. We recorded an album. I recorded albums with Shekinah Glory, Calvin Golden and Shekinah Glory, which was a choir back in the late 90s. Zanye sung back up with her for a long time. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So 2009, you were singing with like a group,
Zanye.
Zanye.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been singing.
I've been singing with Zanye for over 10 years. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. It's been a little while. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done a lot of recordings with her?
I recorded the second album with her, Conversations, which
Okay.
I have a duet on there with her called Feels Like Rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been playing out a lot?
I take a lot of private gigs, and so people can't see until I'm invited back here to the cafe, or
Oh,
if
okay.
I'm performing out somewhere, there always some private gig somewhere doing something. Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are your like influences? Like, do you have?
Influences.
Yeah.
I would have to tell you that I would have to go back. We would have to go back to Teddy Pendergrass.
Huh?
We would have to go back to Luther, which I'm doing a Luther show
Sure.
coming up here soon. Marvin Gaye. the sounds of Marvin Gaye, all that soul that was in the 70s and the 80s, where I pull a lot of my influence from when it comes to singing and real meaning and real singing. Because back then they didn't need a whole lot of, technology.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have technology.
Yeah.
So
they had their bodies and their feelings,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was watching.
I get that. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I was watching a Luther documentary last night again, and it was amazing again. And I'm going to watch it again. Because it's that good just to know that he pulled from Dionne Warwick. Huh. He pulled from the Ella Fitzgeralds, and he was one of the greatest remake kings of all time. Yeah. And I admire that about our greats, for the reason I am doing a Luther tribute, because his music meant so much to a lot of people on the scene today.
Yeah. When you do the tribute, do you look at his whole career, or do you pick out? Do you try to do like a chronological, or do you just?
I look at the whole book of Luther.
Yeah.
Because he has an arsenal of material. So there's always a new song to add, but there are always going to be some of the same songs, because you can't do a Luther tribute and not do his favorites, right? So,
no, but I mean, do you do like early Luther, and then like you run the gamut of the?
I did some of his stuff from Change.
Yeah.
I think in the last Luther show that I did here.
Okay.
Yeah. Great artist, but my I have a lineage, if you will. My great grandmother was an artist, a jazz pianist, and she traveled the United States in her car. She performed at the Willis Show Bar. She did her live recording at Minjo's in the 70s.
Wow.
I have that album at home.
Really?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Stennis Owsley.
Huh.
Yep. And then my grandmother, she worked with Motown, and she opened with Motown. She was a copywriter in the early days when it was
lineage. Yeah.
of the early days of being here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So music has always been around me.
Yeah, because wasn't Motown on Woodward?
It was on Woodward.
Yeah, part of it was on Woodward.
Yeah, it was I think they've probably torn that building down now, possibly. I have to fact check it, but yeah. So music has always been in my DNA.
Yeah.
So I was about to say it's in your DNA.
Yeah. Wow. So I love music because all I know is great music.
Yeah.
I think growing up, I would hear Motown a lot. I would hear, especially the Christmas album, any Motown Christmas album, and you get ready for Merry Christmas to all of you. You want to hear the Temptations, right? So,
yeah. Motown, man, it's just, there's something about that that's just, that changes people when they hear it. There's something that connects.
It was a great sound.
Yeah.
It was a great sound.
Yeah. And there'll never be anything like that again, I don't think.
We're trying to bring that music back. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're bringing C. Alexander's in for, so we can have real R&B and soul music. Yeah.
No, we did a thing when we had the amphitheater outside. We did a recreation of the What's Going On album. I don't know if you saw any of that.
No.
That was interesting. So I got really familiar with that album. And I listening to some of that music, I would get goosebumps and like eyes would well up. And it was just some of it was just earth-shattering.
Yeah. If you listen to the words of some of the music, it will take you right there.
Yeah.
It does evoke emotion. Music is a spirit. Music is a movement in the body. It is something that makes you feel. And if you don't feel music, you shouldn't be doing music.
Yeah.
A lot of people we know today aren't the greatest, but they're artists.
Yeah.
On the radio.
Ain't that the truth?
That's the truth.
No names.
Yeah.
No names.
No.
That's what you're saying earlier is everything used to just be good because there was no technology. You had to record it good right then and there. There was no post-processing.
Whitney and Luther would record in one take.
Well, they used to record like the whole band at the same time.
In one take.
Yeah. There was no overdubs.
I love going back, and I wasn't born in the 70s. I was born in 1980, but I wish I could have been implanted right into the 70s. I think, to me, the 70s music was the greatest.
Yeah.
You can sit in the emotion of however you need to on whatever song you need to listen to get whatever you're trying to do, and you know that they were having a good time in the studio on that night while they were recording that music.
You can hear it.
I listened to Marvin Gaye's Reincarnation. They had a good time. He was 493 light years ahead. You and me, we gonna get down. Yeah, I love just to listen to it. It helps me to move through the day. Music, just music in itself. So
I read something recently about how you think back on like you had the swing era and you had the rock and roll era. The 70s, like you're talking about. You had the 80s. And there's nothing after that. There's nothing really. You can't define anything anymore.
We're hitting like 90s, 2000. The eras start kind of blending together.
Yeah, there's no like.
The end of the 90s is where everything dropped.
Yeah, because 90s had like grunge, maybe.
The beginning of the
like
90s
R&B,
were still coming out of the 80s, so we still had good music, and then some things happened.
Yeah. But it all just kind of like blends, like you said.
It does. You don't. Everything kind of today sounds the same. Everybody sounds the same. It's like, what did they just say? She sound like her, and he sound like him.
Yeah, so and they're pulling samples from like 40 songs now, and they're taking the melodies from like songs from like the 30s, 40s, and turning it into like a new pop song now. Like you hear that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible because there's no musicality anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have to know how to read a sheet of music anymore. You don't have to know how to sing anymore. You can just go in and sing, and they'll push a button for you.
Auto-tune it, yeah.
Yeah. That's not cool.
Yeah.
If there's a note, yeah. But the whole song is auto-tuned because you can't sing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? How do you feel about tracks? Like singing the tracks?
Singing two tracks or singing tracks?
No, like singing live two tracks. How do you feel about that?
I think if the track, there was one person that had one of the best tracks that I'd ever heard. We went to see Raheem Devine down at the park right outside of Fisher Theater. And his tracks, you would have thought that his whole band was there. I don't mind singing with a track if it's full of what you're used to on the back end. If you're used to the keyboard, the drums, because some people need that energy. But tracks are, if they're good, they're amazing for the artist.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't know. I got mixed feelings about it.
Really?
Yeah. I love a live band.
It's nothing like a live band. Yeah. I mean, you get to feel all of it, all at once. For me, in a band, my favorite instruments are the drum
Me too.
and the bass.
Yep. Absolutely.
I love all the other ones, but I need a great drummer, an amazing drummer, and a phenomenal bass player.
Me too.
If you have those two things in a band,
Yeah.
We got great bass players that come in to the cafe.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
and I've had the chance to sing with some of those greats that y'all have had come through here. Yeah.
I think if I had this to do over again, I'd pick up the drums.
Really?
Yeah.
Gonzo?
Yeah. As a Muppet.
Yeah, man.
Because one, you get to hit things, you know.
Check out your aggression just a little bit.
Yeah. But I don't know. It just seems like it's just all that rhythm going on, you know.
If I was to pick one, I would pick the saxophone.
Really?
I think the saxophone is so sexy.
Yeah.
A great saxophone. Oh, the saxophone is.
That was my first instrument. Alto sax. Yeah.
Oh, a saxophone? That's my neck. That's the third piece if I can have a saxophone, because the saxophone adds a whole nother piece to the puzzle.
Yeah. But anyway.
I know we got lost in instruments.
Yeah, but I mean, I love the live band, you know, so I don't know. I think tracks have their place, you know, but I've heard, you know, coming in the cafe, people bring tracks, and for a while I was like, no tracks, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, this is a live music venue.
Really?
You know?
I have not done a concert with tracks myself as an artist. I have definitely sung on a concert with tracks, and it was amazing. It was amazing because of the track and who put the track together. That also makes a difference too.
Yeah.
You can't just go in and just play something on the piano and on a, I almost said tape.
Yeah.
I almost said tape.
Yeah.
I did say tape. But you can't just go in and record it and then say, oh, this is what we're going to do and play this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to sing to it.
Well, some people do both. They'll do a sequencer and, you know, have live music with, you know, like background vocals on a on a track.
I understand the reasons.
They want to fill. They think they're filling space.
Yeah.
And then maybe they don't have to hire background vocals. I don't know the reasoning, but
Yeah, it's all of those things. Those are the things. You can allocate for something else because we have this piece now, because we have the track, and the track fulfills what I need at the time. So I can get a liturgical dancer instead of having background singers.
Yeah.
I know you're indifferent, but it's just thinking outside the box. It's just thinking outside the box. Yeah.
Stuck on that one. The tracks. Just hate the tracks.
I don't know. You like the tracks?
I mean, as a sound engineer, not really. No.
Yeah.
No. But I get it. Some people you kind of have to have it, or some people they're solo coming in and they don't have a band with them, so they gotta play it.
And then sometime too, it's hard to, if you're a busy artist and you have a band and you're getting your steam, you know how it is. You have a band, Ted. It's hard to sometimes have everybody at the same time, so you have to put fillers in, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So instead of having to put the fillers in, that's another reason. I can just use my track. This is my original music anyway. So, and it fulfills what I need. Yes, I would love to have the drummer behind me and the bass player behind me and the piano player and all of those things. However, I don't have a piece of my puzzle today. And what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So the track.
Then, you know, with a track, there's no improvisation.
None.
You know?
That's the downside. That's the downside about it. You just have to stick to it.
Yeah.
There's no wiggle room. But
so, do you write any music?
I have been writing.
Yeah.
I have been writing. I'm waiting to get it to music.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you like writing?
I do. I when I'm writing, I write emotion. I write how the feeling is at that time. And of course you talk to your people that write too and say, hey, this is my thoughts and this is where I'm at, so they can help, because you want the best product, right? Yeah. So yeah, I do. I'm getting more in tune to it in these later years here, in these last few years, I should say. Yeah, have like books of stuff that I didn't doodle on throughout my whole house, of stuff that I didn't wrote. And it's just not to music yet.
Yeah. What kind of stuff?
Soul, R&B.
Yeah.
Just soul, R&B music. Just, I can't do the popcorn music. Yeah. The immature stuff. When Luther sung, when Gladys Knight sung, when Lou Rawls even, when they sang, they sang with a conviction, and the words meant something, and it made you think sometime about what was being said. Like, is that what they, like Superwoman, Stevie Wonder. Stevie likes a lot. There's a whole lot of words in any song. If you look at a Stevie song, you're like, why did he write this novel and put it in this song? Stevie's song Superwoman talks about his girl wanting to be this big person. Somebody was like, what is he even talking about? I said, his girl want to be this big person. He trying to take care of her, and she don't want that. She want to go and run and do her own thing. And he's trying to tell her, hey, but I can say goodbye to you. Peace. Deuces. That's you had to think about it, though, if you're not really paying attention. A lot of great writers that I pay attention to and how they write.
Yeah.
That's another thing, looking at how the artist wrote back then.
That's great when like a lyric can do that. You can take it on multiple levels. You could take it at face value. Plus you can look at it on a larger level. That's what I love writing like that. And I also love clever lyrics.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, and hopefully soon there's going to be a C. Alexander project.
Huh?
Sooner than soon.
Okay. What do you mean by project?
Well, I've been singing backgrounds with people for a while. I think it's time to soar.
Huh? Okay.
And to be C. Alexander.
Great.
To Detroit, to the world.
That means original stuff, right?
Original.
Excellent.
Originals.
I love it.
Yeah. And I've been trying to figure it out for a while. Like, should I know I can record a Luther song on my album, but I need something, whatever it is, it's going to revolve, and it's all going to make sense on one topic on the album. It's going to flow.
Yeah.
I believe in flow of whatever I'm trying to do. Even when I'm putting together my Luther concerts, I am steady thinking about, I got all these songs. How do I do it?
Yeah.
Where do I place them? What makes sense? So the C. Alexander album would be the same thing.
Yeah. That's part of the creative process. Yeah. I'm all for original material.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. I love it too.
Yeah.
I love to hear new artists, great artists, give their lyrics on just good artistry, just great artistry. I just like to listen to it. Music Soul Child is another one of my favorite artists because he's a great writer. His music is just, what were you thinking about when you wrote that?
Yeah.
So I listen to him too. He's more current. He's not the 70s, 80s, but I can tell that he listened to
I was just gonna say that,
those people. So yeah, I even take some of my influence from the church. I listened to a lot of the Clark sisters back in the day. I remember when, as a teenager, I was trying to figure out what kind of artist do I want to be. do I want to yell like the people at the church, or do I want to, what goes on. They sing and then they and it's like, do I want to do that, or do I want to sing and let people hear what really is going on? It took me a while to get to where I'm at now, to know that this is where I'm comfortable. This is what is interesting to me, and I can still do this, but this is what I love the most.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you seem like you're at a good place, and you're about to be in an even better place.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Cafe Chronicles.
What
we do is we ask the guests to chronicle an event or a moment at the cafe that pops into your head. If you can think of something that happened at the cafe.
If you can help me remember, or if you can just go back with me, because I've been here many times at the cafe, right? It's been over 10 years. So I was just telling my brother here, Justin, I was just telling Justin here about a time when the Monster Jam was down here. Do you remember that? And I had a concert that night. And we had to start late because it was gridlock. He was like, what do you mean? I said, nobody could move.
Yeah, because Ford Field is right across the street. And so those nights are the reasons that I no longer book.
That makes sense.
Those nights, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you look at the calendar, too, because I used to be like, what's going on in this weekend? Because for a couple of years, I don't know if you remember, I kept getting Monster Jam days.
It must have been early, though.
Early. We're talking about early. Yeah, that's how I could go
10
back.
years ago, yeah.
Yeah, early. I was like, and then the funny part about the Monster Jam, it just pops up. It's not like back then they would just say, oh, it's coming in 3 weeks.
Yeah, I know, right?
What? Yeah. And then now my concert is set. And what am I supposed to do? I can't cancel the concert because it was already set. And it's like, I remember just driving down 94 some days, like, what? This is screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was still successful concerts.
Yeah. That's good. Because a lot of those weren't when that happened.
People still pressed forward. It was bad that they had to press forward, but people kept coming. Like, I'm here, and I want to support. So,
all right, excellent. T. Alexander, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me, Ted.
All right,
appreciate you, man.
All right, good luck to you, man.
Thanks.
All right, thanks.